Hello friends, Matt Baum here. You know, it's been less than 50 years since the Stonewall riots, the foundation of the modern LGBT liberation movement. And here we are, with marriage equality newly recognized from coast to coast. But June isn't just the anniversary of Stonewall, it's also the anniversary of the rulings that overturned the Federal Defense of Marriage Act, that ended criminalization of homosexuality. It's also close to the anniversary of the ruling that for the first time extended equal protection to LGBTs. All of those cases were written by Justice Anthony Kennedy, and now he's given us a decision that establishes marriage as a fundamental right. 4 justices agreed with Kennedy, and 4 disagreed for reasons that really do not hold up. So let's take a look at how Kennedy's decision works, and why the dissent is so wrong. Kennedy's ruling is based on 4 ideas. Freedom includes the freedom to choose who you marry, marriage is vital for relationships, marriage protects kids and families, and marriage is a cornerstone of American society. Central to Kennedy's ruling is this. The nature of injustice is that we may not always see it in our own times. The generations that wrote and ratified the Bill of Rights and the 14th Amendment did not presume to know the extent of freedom in all its dimensions, and so they entrusted to future generations a charter protecting the right of all persons to enjoy liberty as we learn its meaning. In other words, the Constitution is set up so that as we become a more fair and just society, we can change our laws to reflect that fairness and justice. It is true that it's only very recently that we've lifted restrictions on marriage for same-sex couples. It's a change in tradition, but tradition alone isn't a good enough reason to keep an unjust law. Kennedy wrote, "If rights were defined by who exercised them in the past, then new groups could not invoke rights once denied. The fact that marriage used to exclude LGBTs in the past doesn't matter. We don't define rights by what they used to be or who they used to exclude, and that's why marriage can change. Like when former slaves were granted the freedom to marry, or when women were given equal legal standing." Kennedy goes on, "These new insights have strengthened, not weakened, the institution. Changed understandings of marriage are a characteristic of a nation where new dimensions of freedom become apparent to new generations. Marriage is a fundamental right, and when it comes to fundamental rights, what matters is that all people are equally protected under the law, and that the law provides everyone with the full set of processes that are due to them. That's what the equal protection and due process clauses of the 14th Amendment guarantee. So laws that treat people unequally or deprive them of the process of marriage are unconstitutional." Kennedy writes, "It is demeaning to lock same-sex couples out of a central institution of the nation's society, for they too may aspire to the transcendent purposes of marriage." Kennedy likes to be poetic, but the point is, marriage allows 2 people to find a life that could not be found alone. For a marriage becomes greater than just the 2 persons. Rising from the most basic human needs, marriage is essential to our most profound hopes and aspirations. The Constitution grants that right. 5 justices agreed, 4 didn't. In the next video, I'll take a look at why their reasoning doesn't really work. In the meantime, let's go celebrate this win, and let's be cool about it. Gloating and taunting the people who don't yet support the freedom to marry isn't cute. Remember, until a few years ago, most people didn't understand why marriage matters. They changed their minds once they saw that the LGBTs who want to get married just want to fall in love, settle down, make a commitment, and protect their families. About 40% of the country still has yet to make that journey, which is roughly equivalent to the proportion of the Supreme Court that ruled against marriage equality. So let's help them get there by extending a hand and welcoming them to the future. Thanks for watching. As always, I'd love to hear what you think about Kennedy's decision. You can leave me a comment on this video or tweet at me at Matt Baum. And if you're enjoying my videos, you might like my other project, The Sewers of Paris. That's a podcast full of revealing stories about how entertainment has changed the lives of gay men. You can listen and subscribe over at sewersofparis.com. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must go aspire to a transcendent purpose.